The wedding of Bomi and producer Rado was supposed to be just another happy celebrity event in the Korean entertainment industry. Instead, it became one of the most emotional K-pop moments of 2026, not because of an extravagant wedding dress or the luxurious ceremony held at Grand Hyatt Seoul, but because it revealed something incredibly rare in the idol world, the maturity of a love story quietly nurtured for nearly a decade. In an era where dating scandals can destroy an idol's image overnight, Bomi and Rado's relationship feels almost unusual within K-pop. No media play, no publicity-driven romance, no attempt to use their relationship for fame. They chose to walk beside each other in silence for years. Ironically, that silence became what gave their wedding such emotional weight. What truly exploded across social media was not simply the fact that an Apink member got married. The moment that moved millions of fans was seeing Chorong, Eunji, Namjoo, and Hayoung perform Love Me More together as a special congratulatory stage for the bride. After more than a decade in the industry, Apink is no longer just a girl group chasing charts and trophies. They have entered a different chapter, one where friendship, shared memories, and emotional bonds matter more than rankings. When Bomi suddenly joined the dance break while still wearing her wedding dress, the entire venue seemed to erupt with emotion. It was not merely a cute fan service moment. It felt like Bomi briefly returning to her idol self one last time before stepping into a completely new chapter of life. Fans did not see a perfectly polished K-pop bride. They saw the same Bomi who once laughed with her members in practice rooms, the same friend who made Hayoung cry during the ceremony, the same person who shared years of youth with Apink. The image of Rado smiling beside her, casually moving along with the music instead of maintaining the formal composure expected from a groom, made the atmosphere feel even more genuine and human. K-pop is famous for its tightly controlled image system. Idols are expected to be flawless, disciplined, and emotionally distant from their personal lives. Yet Bomi's wedding shattered that formula completely. It did not feel like a calculated celebrity event. It felt more like a reunion of people who had grown up together through the changing landscape of the Korean entertainment industry. The appearance of former member Hong Yookyung perfectly symbolized that feeling. Since leaving the group in 2013, she has rarely been seen together with Apink publicly. But on Bomi's wedding day, more than a decade of distance suddenly disappeared. Just one image of her standing alongside the members was enough to make longtime second-generation K-pop fans emotional. Because for older fandoms, Apink was never just another idol group. They represented one of the final symbols of an era when girl groups thrived on innocence, warmth, and longevity before K-pop transformed into an aggressively globalized industry. In that sense, Bomi's wedding was not simply the happy ending of a love story, it also marked the coming-of-age moment of an entire generation of idols. What makes the story even more interesting is the figure of Rado himself, a producer who has always remained behind the spotlight. If Bomi represents the glamorous face of K-pop, Rado symbolizes the invisible creative force behind many hit songs. The two first met in 2016 when he participated in producing Apink's album Pink Revolution. At that time, Apink was facing immense pressure to reinvent themselves as their once successful innocent image gradually began losing momentum. Pink Revolution was more than just an album. It represented Apink's attempt to redefine themselves in a rapidly changing K-pop market. And amid that stressful transitional period, Bomi and Rado quietly built a relationship of their own. Perhaps it was their ability to survive difficult moments together that made their relationship stronger than many other celebrity couples. Bomi once shared that she decided to spend her life with someone who stayed beside her through both joyful and painful times. The statement sounds simple, but within the Korean entertainment industry, where schedules, public scrutiny, and loneliness often destroy relationships, it carries enormous emotional meaning. That may also explain why public reaction to this marriage has been so different from many previous idol weddings. There was no major backlash, no widespread outrage from fans. Instead, people reacted as though they were watching an old friend finally find happiness after years of waiting. STAYC's performance of Teddy Bear during the ceremony was not only meant to energize the atmosphere. Symbolically, it also created a bridge between two generations of K-pop. On one side stood Apink, icons of the late second-generation era. On the other stood STAYC, representatives of a younger generation shaped by global K-pop expansion. Seeing both generations together at one wedding reminded audiences how much K-pop has changed. Idols who were once forbidden from openly dating can now publicly enter marriage while receiving blessings from millions of fans. That is why Bomi's wedding is not merely a personal love story. It reflects the evolution of the entire Korean idol industry itself. And perhaps the most beautiful moment of the ceremony had nothing to do with the stage, the music, or the celebrity guests. It was Hayoung's tears. Because those tears reminded the public that behind the lights, behind the schedules, and behind years of maintaining perfect idol images, these stars are ultimately just people watching one of their closest friends step into a new phase of life. For millions of fans who grew up alongside Apink, Bomi's wedding was not simply a wedding. It felt like a gentle farewell to an entire era of K-pop youth.